Well, thank you all for coming out today. It's great to see you all. My name is Donny Samson. I'm our CEO here at Samson Properties, and I first want to thank you for your time. Your time is your most valuable asset, and the fact that you're willing to come spend some of it today learning about our company means a lot to me. So thank you so much for coming out and learning about Samson. Hopefully it'll make it worth your while. Before I get going, I'd like to kind of tell you what you have in front of you. You have a full folder in front of you. On one side, you have the Be the Realtor You Want to Be booklet that a lot of you guys have already opened up and started looking through. That's your guide to my whole presentation. We're going to have slides running through from the back here that'll kind of keep you through it. But if you want to take notes, you want to have that later to go through, great. I will not go through every word on there, or else I'll be talking all day and I'll be feeding you dinner as well. And nobody needs to be listening to me talk for that long. So we'll kind of the high notes through that. On the other side, you have a lot of the print materials. We have a great print center in here in our studio, in our headquarters here right across the way, that you can see before you leave today. But I'm going to show you a lot of the print center we develop in-house for all of you all. When we get to the print center section, you can pull it out and talk through all those things later. So we've got a lot of our crew here today because we're in our headquarters. This is in Chantilly. So when you're done here, I'd love for you to look around. We just moved here a couple months ago. We're really excited about our headquarters here at Chantilly. Before I get going, I'd like to jump into, we have what we call our hype reel. So Chris McCullough, our event coordinator, who's also going to handle my slides back there. Chris plays our hype video, kind of gets us all hyped up, ready for a good presentation. So without further ado, Miss Chris will play us in. Nailed the downbeat. Going to be a good presentation. Let's go. Sometimes I miss it. All right, up here behind me, you see a timeline. So what I like to start with is kind of how did we get to where we are here at Samson Properties, and who is this company in front of you here? So the top left there, you see a guy that looks a lot like me. Some say a little bit better looking, but 19 years older than me. I guess I know what I have to look forward to in 19 years. A lot like me, just a little bit more gray hair. So that's my dad, Donny Samson. He's our owner and founder. He's been selling real estate since 1986. He, for the first 14 years of his career, bounced around to small companies, here and there. And then in 2000, he said, I'd like to start my own thing. He just had his best friend, a couple buddies that wanted to get into it. He had a full-time assistant. He was working from his house. And he said, we'll go get our own 1,000 square feet. We'll have a little company, 5, 6 people, no big deal. What he didn't anticipate was his love for, as he would say, changing people's lives. He loved the idea that, if you work harder in real estate and sell more homes, you make more money. And he loved that idea, right? He didn't like the idea of, okay, if I go to work and I do really good this week, I get the same amount as last week when I didn't do that good. So he loved the competitiveness, the entrepreneurship of real estate. So it just flowed out of him. We'd be at dinner one night and he'd talk the waiter and they sign it up at Mosley. We'd be in the line at King's Dominion. By the time we got to the front, somebody was signing up for real estate classes in that line. He just loved the idea of real estate and how you could build your own career and take your own path. So our first 50 or 60 realtors at Samson were all brand new realtors, not transfers, just people that Saturday morning donuts and contract classes and teaching them up and growing that way. Then you see my picture come into the equation. So if you remember what you were like when you were 22, 23 years old, you really probably wanted to do whatever it was your parents weren't doing. Wait a minute, I said that wrong. You wanted to do whatever it was your parents, you didn't want to do whatever it was I've never messed that line up once in 100 times. You didn't want to do what your parents were doing. How about that? But that was me as well. But my dad had recruited one of my really good buddies was selling real estate for him, and he was one of those guys that he wasn't so good at school, but he was a good talker and a good helper, and he was doing good in real estate. And my now wife of 19 years, Meredith, we were dating at the time, and she looked at me and she goes, Donny, maybe you should think about getting into real estate because Tokir's killing it, and he's an idiot. And she was right about both those things. He was crushing into real estate, and he was kind of an idiot. But he's my idiot. He's my friend, so I can joke about that. But he was doing a great job. So I was like, I'll get my license, see how it goes. And I guess it's stuck because 20 years later, I'm standing here. I'll get back to myself in a second. From 2000 to 2011, we were an 80-20 company. 80% to the realtor, 20% to the company. And if you sold real estate back then, you realize that was a pretty good split, right? Back then, it was a lot of 50-50, 60-40, 70-30s. But a couple crazy things happened in the real estate market if you were around back then as well. '03 to '06, it was super fun to be a realtor, right? Everything we touched turned to sold. We were the smartest people in the world and all that kind of fun stuff. And then '06 to 2010, '07 to not so fun to be a realtor, right? Everything was a foreclosure, everything was a short sale, and business kind of went a little sideways. Well, when times are tough, you investigate all parts of your business. Some of us are probably doing that now on an individual level as times get tougher. Like, how do I build my business back up? How do I investigate all these different things? Well, two really important things happened at Samson during this time frame. In 2009, you can see we opened Cardinal Title Group. 100% ownership in a title company. We had been partners in one before and had JV relationships and stuff like that. So my dad and I, we knew enough to be dangerous. So we hired a couple of lawyers, started our own title company, and away we went. What we started to realize was when we had a title closing, we made pretty good money. It was like, well, how do we get more of these? Well, we need more transactions. How do we get more transactions? Probably need more realtors. So at the same time, you started to feel this commission pressure in the real estate industry. A lot of our top realtors were all of a sudden 85-15 were getting offered, and 90-10 was getting offered. 100% companies were becoming popular. So we investigated all of this, and we flipped our business plan on its head. We thought a lot about it in 2011, and we said, let's go for it. We went to a 100% company with a transaction fee, and we said we're going to have to recruit, we're going to have to grow a bunch of agents. Hopefully we'll take great care of them, and they'll use our title company, and we'll make the money that way. So in 2011, we switched to a 100% company. The 150 realtors we had at the time, they loved us. They just got a 20% raise overnight. So they were like, this is great, right? But when you step back and think about 80-20, 100%, I'm stereotyping a little bit, but if you work for an 80-20 company or something close to that right now, you're basically making a deal with your company, right? I'm going to give you 20% of the money, and you're going to give me something back of value, whether it's the brand, the resources, the support, the offices, whatever it is, why you like working there, you're okay with that trade, the 20% you give back. Or you're not really okay with it, which is why you're here today, considering the alternative, right? But in theory, you're making this trade. Now, when you think about a 100% company, you think, well, you get what you pay for. I'm not paying them any money. I can't really expect anything back. So I'm not getting all the resources, the support, the ability to grow my business because I'm not giving anything for it. That's what we think about when we think about 100% companies. But what if we could be both? What if you could be that company that gave all the tools, resources, support, everything back to your people you could, and let you keep all your money? That was our goal. That would be the best, right? Now, we weren't there in 2011, right? But we started growing. 2012, 13, 14, my dad was out there recruiting. We were growing up as a company, getting to a good mass. We got to 500, 600 agents. In 2016, my dad came to me. He said, Don, I need your help. We got about 700, 800 agents now. We kind of want to take that next step from, mom and pop to that next level of let's have this great company. Let's take it to the next level as far as organization. I had done okay. From 03 to 16, I had sold about $350 million in real estate. Was doing 40 or 50 million a year at the end. I always hesitate to say that line because I'm not bragging about my production, but why do I tell you that I was a successful realtor and doing okay in the business? It's because I have been where you are every single day. I had a seat in my master bedroom closet. That was my seat where I could go and sit and negotiate. And why my master bedroom closet? Because I have a wife and 4 beautiful daughters and a dog that likes to bark, and that was the quiet spot in my house that I could negotiate. Everybody's got a spot, right? I had a path in my backyard that I would, on nice days when I was negotiating or trying to figure out that was my path, right? If they knew I was out there, the dog would leave me alone. That's where he's negotiating out there. So we've all got those things, right? I got the 52 inspection item list over at 8:55 p.m. right before the deadline when you can't sleep that night. You're like, how is this deal not going to fall apart, right? But then 3 days later, we figured it out because we're realtors and we do that. I think if I've been in all those spots dozens and dozens and dozens of times, hopefully I can help know and relate to what other realtors are feeling and help create a company that's by realtors for realtors and built to help you succeed in those situations as much as possible. When I was selling real estate, my whole goal, or one of my goals, was always my kitchen table is going to be right here. I'm going to point right at you all day, okay? But I wanted to get to the kitchen table. The kitchen table is where the good stuff is. What the buyer presentation, the listing presentation. If I get to the kitchen table, hopefully I can win a client, right? Now, if I spent years and years trying to get to that kitchen table, hopefully we can help create a company that helps you all get to kitchen tables as much as possible. So 2016, I became our COO, and I started to build out all the operations, build out that foundation a little bit stronger around us. From 16 to 19, I worked on building up a lot of this with my dad. He was the front guy. And then in 2019, I moved into becoming our CEO. I took over all the recruiting, all the operations, everything, and he slowly moved into retirement in 2019. Today, in 2011, I couldn't say what I'm going to say now. 2023, I believe this wholeheartedly. I think we are the best real estate company around. I think we have the best resources, the best tools, the best support, most offices, and lots of things to help serve you the best you can as a realtor and help it be about you. And we let you keep all your money. So that's a win-win, right? And that's when most people tilt their head and they look at me and say, all right, Donny, it's too good to be true. You can't give me all this stuff and all this support you're going to talk about for the next hour and let me keep all my money. It's the title company. We own 100% of Cardinal Title Group. We can't make you, pay you, or incentivize you to use Cardinal. But if we kill you with kindness and kill you with a great company that helps you thrive and succeed, you're like, well, how can I help? Use Cardinal? Great. They do a great job? Awesome. I'll keep using them. This is a win-win for everybody. So we take those proceeds from Cardinal, and then it's my job to invest them back in and make Samson and Cardinal the very best two companies that they can be. So this win-win circle that we've created has really become popular, and that's why our growth has kind of been outstanding in the last few years, and we'll talk more about that. So that's kind of how we got to where we are today, and the story of Samson, and then we'll jump off with more details here. So this is our culture wall. This is painted on the walls of almost all of our offices. We might have missed one or two. We're working on it. This is kind of what we're all about when people talk about your culture. My dad had two main rules: be nice and be professional. I know those are simple, right? But they're important too. We're going to make mistakes every single day. I've made 9 of them today. Don't ask anybody in the back of the room, the staff. They'll tell you a couple of them, I'm sure. Don't call my wife. She's definitely got a few I've messed up, I'm sure. But be nice and be professional. Treat people the right way, and we can all get through it, right? Now, when people aren't nice and not professional, it can't be in our family anymore because it's all about treating people the right way. Pay it forward is an interesting one, right? 20 years ago, it's a popular movie, Pay It Forward. Somebody does something great for you, don't pay it back, pay it forward, right? Essentially, that's our business plan when you think about it, right? Is, look, sell homes. Don't give me your money. You keep it. Try to pay it forward to use my title company. If they do a great job, I'm going to take those profits and pay it forward and pay for a better company for all of you every single day. So we have that pay it forward mindset when it comes to our business plan, but our agents live this every day. If you looked at our calendar, we have a top agent every once or twice a week. They're teaching something, they're promoting something, they're just doing it out of the kindness of their heart, giving back to help everybody grow better. It's not me versus you. It's us together. There's enough business for everybody. And at Samson, we've created a one big happy family atmosphere that's trying to grow together stronger. I didn't even mean to say that, but family was the next thing on the list. I'll stand up at our sales meeting, I'm sure tomorrow, and say we've had 40 new people join our company in the last 2 weeks. But I don't say joined our company. I say joined our family. We try to have one big happy family at Samson with 33 little offices that are little families all part of it together. But that's really how we try to treat everybody here at Samson. Integrity kind of speaks for itself. It's something that's really important to us. Education. We'll talk more about this later, but we believe and think we're the best education company for real estate, best education company. We're the real estate company that gives you the best education in the whole DMV. I've messed 2 lines up already today, so I'm off to a fantastic start. But we really believe in giving back. It's about helping you grow in your business. If you sold 5 homes last year, we want to help you get to 10. If you sold 10, we want to help you get to 20. And that's the education and a lot of things we'll talk about later. Giving back, I always hesitate on this one. It feels a little disingenuous to brag about giving back, so I won't go on to it a lot. But we have Samson Cares, which is our philanthropic wing here at Samson Properties. We're big on that. We've done a ton of events to give back to the community. We actually won the NVAR Broker Spirit Award last year for the best real estate company around that gives back to the community the most. So it is something we're super proud of, and we try to pour a lot into. Innovative. It's a weird one, real estate. Right? Real estate, it's not innovative. What I mean by this is there are a lot of real estate companies out there that they might be a national brand or a brand name, and their philosophy is like, well, you get to work for us because we have this name sometimes, right? And we're content or we're set or this is the way we do things. We're never that way. We have been that guy chasing them up the hill the whole time, and then all of a sudden we turn around, we're kind of on that hill already, right? But we still have that mentality of always trying to get better. I'm taking every meeting when it comes to this service or this service. We're constantly trying to create a better environment for realtors. There's never about how can I find a way to charge you more money or take more? It's how can I help you make more money? We just added Real Scout, which we'll talk about today. We're always adding things that can help you become a more successful realtor. So we're innovative in the sense that we are constantly pushing to make a better company every single day, every single week for our realtors. Not for us, but for our realtors to be more successful. So that's a lot of what we're about, and it'll kind of permeate through everything we do. Now, we're going to talk about a lot of great features we offer and all, but I'm not naive. I hope everybody joins us because we're the best real estate company around, but thank you. But the money's important, all right? So I want to make sure everybody understands the money first and foremost before I get too much further down the line. We're a 100% company. Great. Everybody loves that number. We have a couple fees. One, we have a $50 a month fee. That is your membership fee that everybody pays every month. Now, that includes E&O insurance. It includes all the things I'm going to talk about today, included in that $50 a month fee. If you join us tomorrow and never sell a house the rest of your career, you just pay us $50 a month. No additional fees, no taxes, no E&O, no nothing. Now, hopefully, you don't join us and never sell a home the rest of your career, because that's not the point of why we do this, right? So our other couple fees are tied to when you actually sell homes. So we have a $345 brokerage fee or admin fee. Everybody pays that. Now, 95% of our realtors are having their clients pay that $345 admin fee on the Alta, and you can blame me. We have a sheet that says why we charge an admin fee, and say my broker Donny is a mean guy. He makes me charge you $345, but most people charge that on the Alta. They never pay a dollar. Just pay us a $50 a month fee. $345 is picked up by your clients, but it's your choice if you want to pay it. Now, the last one pertains to some of you, not all of you. A $495 transaction fee. This is the only thing you pay out of your commission until you make it into the Cardinal Club. So you would pay a $495 transaction fee on top of the admin fee until you make it into the Cardinal Club. Once you make it into the Cardinal Club, that $495 is waived forever and ever, amen. You cannot ever lose status in the Cardinal Club. Once you're in forever. Never pay a $495 again. Until then, just the $495 on top of the basic admin fee. Now, that sounds interesting, Donny. How do I get into the Cardinal Club? Because I would like to not pay a $495 fee. Couple ways to get into the Cardinal Club. The first way is if you're sitting here today and you've done, or watching on video, if you've done $3 million in volume or 8 sales transactions in the last 12 months. So if it's May 1 to May 1, if it's June 1 to June 1, June 15th to June 15th, the most previous 12 months, if you've completed 8 transactions or $3 million in volume, you're in from day one. You sign up paperwork, you're in, you never pay a $495 your entire career with us. You're in the Cardinal Club, you're in forever. You can take 2 years off, you don't lose CC status. So you can do it all on previous sales. Maybe you're close. Maybe you've done 5 transactions or $2 million in the last 12 months. Great, join us, sell a couple homes, just $495 transaction fee until you get there. So it's a rolling 12-month. I never really understood this anniversary date or it resets at the calendar year. I got to December 15th, 20th, and I missed my marks. I got to start all over again next year. Or my anniversary date, I didn't quite get there. No, it's a rolling 12 months. So if you have any time in your career, counting previous company and our company, 8 transactions or $3 million in the most recent 12 months, you shoot us an email, we look it up, you're in. We throw a big party, confetti, Cardinal Club. No, none of that's true. But we do put you in the Cardinal Club, and you never have to pay $495 again. All right, so it can be a rolling, it can be a combination of your previous company and ours. Maybe you're brand new. Congratulations on passing the test. That's awesome. I have great news for you. You never have to learn or talk about meets and bounds the rest of your career. That was just for the test, all right? Nobody ever talks about that in real estate, all right? Now, if you're new, great. We're going to teach you how to be a rock star. In no time, you're going to get to that 8 transactions worth $3 million, and you'll get Cardinal Club status. Now, the other big way that people get into the Cardinal Club is teams, all right? So John Smith is over here. He works for ABC Realty. There's no John Smith here, right? Okay, one day there's going to be a John Smith. It's going to be awkward for everybody because he's my example. John Smith works for ABC Realty. John sold $10 million in homes last year. Well, John obviously comes over. He's in the Cardinal Club, right? Well, John has 4 teammates. John's teammates, let's say they did 3, 5, 7, 2 transactions each. All right? Individually, they wouldn't make the Cardinal Club. But because John's Cardinal Club, they all get Cardinal Club status as well. So he can now recruit inside of our brokerage or outside of our brokerage, and those team members get Cardinal Club status. There's 2 reasons I do that. One, I want a lot of team members will work for 50-50, 60-40, 70-30 within a team, right? But if you have to pay 20% to the brokerage off the top, or 10%, or $1,000, or even $495 off the top to the brokerage, it's less for everybody to split up. It's hard to keep a good team member when, okay, fine, I'm 60-40 with you, but then 20% off the top to the brokerage. Well, now all of a sudden that team member's getting like 40%. They can't sustain it. It's not too long before they have to be like, I got to get off the team. I can't exist like this. But if you have the whole pie to split up amongst your team, it's a lot easier for it to work. I also want team members to be able to get their own credit. There's a lot of teams that if only the team leads gets the good deal, all of a sudden they're putting it, I want you guys to be able to take credit however you want. There's no difference in money. It's just you guys, you want the credit, you want the credit. You guys work that out. I don't care. But the financial's the same for everybody. That's why I let everybody be Cardinal Club status, so those team leads can continue to grow that team within it. Now, before I jump off the money, I want to kind of give an example real quick. So, John Smith. John is probably on a good split. He's real successful. He paid, let's just say, $30,000 to his company last year. He capped or whatever. He got to a certain percentage. He paid $30,000 to his company. His 4 teammates probably earning quite a good a deal. Let's say they paid $10,000 each on their transactions, for argument's sake. 30 plus the 40 for the teammates, they paid $70,000 to that company last year. It adds up quick. $70,000. Instead, they come to us, they pay us nothing at all, right? Admin fees, everybody's admin fees, whatever. So $70,000. That's $6,000 a month. Now, John and the team could go put that in the bank. Awesome. Or they could do what some people are doing. They say, what if I invest that back in my business? What if John puts that $5,000 or $6,000 a month back into his business? You think that's going to create some team leads, some leads for that team, some opportunities for that team, client parties, leads, extra admin help, whatever it is that's going to help that team take off, he can invest back into. All right, Don, it's an extreme example. John, he's super successful. Let's take Sue Smith, more of an everyday successful realtor. Sue made $100,000 in gross commission last year. Sue got to keep $80,000 and $20,000 went to her company, right? And she's fine, she's doing okay, but that's still $1,800 a month. That's a lot of money. What if Sue takes $1,500 a month and puts it back into her business? Now, let's say the average commission is $10,000 for argument's sake. Okay, sometimes a lot higher. Let's just say the average is $10,000. Well, if Sue puts $1,500 a month back into her business, I think she can create one new client or one new transaction every 2 months. $3,000 of advertising back in. If that's creating 6 new clients or 6 new relationships a year by just investing that money back into her business that she was given to her broker. That's 6 new transactions, $10,000 each. That's $60,000. She only made $80,000 last year. Just take the money you were paying your broker, invest it back in your business. Your business will take off. Now, I used to think of my business as a tree, so I'm going to be a big blue tree up here real quick. All right. So a new transaction, a new referral, a new client. We should say I'm nicer than new transaction. That's not a nice way to say somebody, right? A new friend, right? The idea is it's not just about that one sale. So that was a branch on my tree. Well, if I water it and took care of that, what happens? Branches off of that, right? Branch up. Now, if I don't do a good job and it dies, we got to take some more training, right? But if I do a good job with that listing, what happens? Somebody calls me off the sign. I met somebody at the open house. Somebody called me off the postcard. They referred their buddy to me. Well, now all of a sudden, I might create, off these 6 new transactions, I might wake up 3 years from now and I have 15, 20 new people that I've helped off that. It's about creating new relationships and building your business by putting your money back into it instead of into my pocket or another broker's pocket. So I want to make sure everybody understands it's not just the money that you're saving, but how much you could make if you invested that back into your business. Questions on the money before I move forward. The Cardinal Club, it's only sales transactions. It's one good point to clarify there, and it can be either company. Any questions on teams, Cardinal Club, $345, $495, $50 a month for everybody before I move on. Awesome. Clear as mud today. Killed it. That's a joke. Mud's not very clear. See what I did there? All right. So this is not my favorite page, but there's a couple rules and regulations because I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. We have 5,500 independent contractors, and I want you to run your business the way you want to run your business. Now, the couple rules I have up here are really just to make sure that I'm protecting our reputation as a whole together. So when you're working with buyers, you can give them back whatever cash back you want. All right. So if you got your brother, your sister, your cousin, your best friend, you want to give them 2% out of your 2.5%, You do you. I don't think it's a good long-term business decision to give all your money back, but there's opportunities for that. You never have to ask my permission. Now, what we say is you can't advertise more than 1% cash back. All right? If Justin sends 10,000 flyers around town saying, I'll give you 2% cash back, it makes all of us feel icky, right? Because that's our company. And all of a sudden people are like, well, this agent gave 2%. So you can't advertise more than 1% cash back. All right? But you can do whatever deal you want, person to person. Listings, couple similar rules. Similar in this respect, I don't care what you charge. You can charge 3, 4, 6, 22% if somebody will pay it. If you get somebody to pay 22%, you need to come teach some classes for me, all right, because you're pretty good at this stuff, all right? But you charge whatever you want. The rule, though, is you can't advertise less than 4.5%. I don't want people sending flyers around town and saying, I'll list it for a flat $500 fee or a flat 1%. That makes all of us feel a little bit icky, okay? Now, person to person, you do whatever you want to do. The story I always tell is my wife and I's first listing ever. We got on our church message boards, and the guy reached out and said, back then we had to give out 3% to the buyer's agent, right? And they said, my wife, Meredith, said, we'll do it for 4%. They go, only if you do it for 3.5%. Meredith looked at me, she goes, Donny, what should we do? I said, well, we're 24 years old, we got no other listings, let's do it, right? So we took it at 0.5%. $400,000 townhouse in South Riding, sold the first day, great. We're not that impressive. It was 2004, everything sold, right? So we made $2,000, cool. But it turns out, the guy was a lender, right? Turns out he liked Meredith and I. Probably Meredith more than me, if we're being honest, okay? But he gave us 6 buyers in the first 12 months of our career. 6 buyers, because he liked us, we worked hard, he knew he'd take care of them. We made $65,000 off the relationship with this guy in the first year of our career. And because we worked for a brokerage that let us have that flexibility to do what we wanted to, we just can't advertise it because that makes everybody look bad. I wanted to get into an old neighborhood that I lived in. I took the first listing off somebody for 0.5%. Why, Donny? You're a good realtor. Well, I wanted to get into the neighborhood. I ended up getting 10 of the next 15 houses in that neighborhood because now I had something. I had something I could do open house on, somebody I could advertise, somebody I could send postcards to. Now I could get my foot in as that neighborhood expert. So I'm not saying you have to do any of those things. You charge 7% on everything for the rest of your life if you want to. But just know that we give you that flexibility. We just don't want you to advertise less than 4.5% because it hurts everybody. The last rule up here is that you must give 2.5% out in Bright as a co-op. This one's somewhat controversial, but I know there's some 1.5s and 2s out there. I would like to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. All right, we work hard as buyer's agents, and sometimes we're writing 5, 6, 7 offers before we get one, right? If we let 5,000 people out there go offer out 1.5 and 2% to buyer's agents, we can help move that market back down to 2%, 1.5. It's already moved from 3 to 2.5 across most of our footprint. That toothpaste is out of the tube a little bit, right? But if you can charge whatever you want, but you have to get at least 2.5% in Bright as a co-op if you're going to go out there, because I want to keep that up for everybody. I did poll all of our top realtors, every 6 months or a year, make sure we're all still on the same page in there, and it's overwhelmingly the choice that we want to make sure that we're keeping those commissions up for all of our buyer agents out there. So that's the other rule when it comes to that. A couple other side things. Commercial, we're 90-10 split on commercial. On rent, there's no 345 fee, just the split 90-10. On the bottom with rentals, there's no 345 fee, so no admin fee on rentals. If you work with tenants, you get every dollar, all right? You go ahead and you take all. Sometimes you work hard for that. You spend more money driving around and in gas money than you got in the commission sometimes, right? But you get to keep all $500 of your tenant rep, whatever it is you get. Now, I'm still going to suggest you do rentals. They're a great pathway to future clients, and it's a great pathway, especially if you're getting into the business. Work with all this. Sometimes they're the most loyal and the people that refer you the most, right? Because they knew you helped them when nobody else would sometimes. Rental listings, we charge a small admin fee. So no 345, 7.5% of 1 month's rent. So if it's $1,000, $75 admin fee. $2,000 rental, $150 admin fee. So it's small, because now we got to collect checks and just give out security deposits, all that kind of fun stuff. So small admin fee on rental listings, nothing on rental sides. So there's just a couple of company rules to make sure everybody understands where we're at. It mostly pertains to how we advertise out there. Any questions on this before I move on to more fun topics? All right, well, with that lead in, how can you ask a question, right? This is where it gets more fun. We have 33 office locations all over the DMV. Now, you are sitting in our headquarters right now, and it's beautiful. We're in Chantilly. If you join one Samson office, you join them all. You can Say, okay, I work great. I'm in Chantilly. You can go to Gainesville, Lake Ridge, Leesburg, Woodbridge, wherever you want, whenever you want, 24/7 access to all of our offices, and we can see that later on the Cardinal Nest. We're a little bit crazy in this sense. People say, okay, we started the pandemic, we had 18 offices, now we have 33. People are like me, Donny, don't you know everybody works from home now? We don't need offices, everything's virtual. I kind of disagree for a couple reasons. One is there's some Donny Samsons of the world out there. What does that mean? I said before, I have 4 beautiful daughters. They love my life, and I have a wife and I have a dog, and I love my family more than anything else, but I can't work at home. I have been somebody that's come to work every single day for my whole career because that's now we all work from home on some level, right? But I want to go away so I can focus my energy on. So there's a certain percentage of you that are the Donny Samsons. I need an office. I'm going every day. So we have those options for people. Most people fall into this category. I got a home office. I do my thing from home, but I want a place to go, whether it's twice a month or once a month. I want to go to the sales meeting. I want to go to the education class. I want to go to the happy hour. I want to know that I've got a community there I can connect with. If you're sitting at home in your same 10 by 10 every day, and you have a bad month or two in real estate, you don't go see anybody, you don't get it. What's probably going to happen month 3, month 4, month 5? Same thing. You're not putting any new energy into it, no ideas, no nothing, right? Probably going to be the same thing, right? So we want to create those atmospheres where, look, you're struggling, get in, engage, talk to other people. You can engage and help yourself out there. The second reason I love offices is this, a place to meet your clients. I've written contracts at McDonald's, at Starbucks, and the hood of a car, and everywhere in between. And if you've been doing this long enough, you probably have, right? I'm old enough to be like you had to work through the hard carbon paper, and you're really pushing down hard on the hood of your car. You got to get to the 3rd page. Only people that have been doing it 15 or 20 years got that joke at all. But we can do it without it, but wouldn't it be better if no matter where you're looking at homes in the whole DMV or wherever you're sitting, you can get to a Samson office within 15 or 20 minutes, no matter where you are. Hey, look, we're out here showing houses in Gainesville. Let's go by our Gainesville office. We'll sit in a beautiful conference room. This is the biggest financial decision of their lives. They should do it in a beautiful office where you can sit and talk it over instead of in some McDonald's booth with a 4-year-old whining in the background about one more French fries or whatever the case may be, right? So we want to provide that great office for you to meet your clients. The third reason, and the final and probably most important reason, is it's a help me, help you situation. So I was pretty open about it. Where do we make all of our money? Our title company, right? 345s and $50 a month are not paying all the bills. But we own this title company. Well, if we just own the title company, we said, please help me with Cardinal Title Group. We have offices in Chantilly and Gaithersburg. You can't bring them there, right? You're too far. That was me 10 years ago, right? I'd be out in Alexandria, and I'd write a contract, and I'd have to ratify. I put Cardinal Title Group on. I got to keep my dad happy. I had to come back, get the high five from Pops when I got back. But then the next day, the listing agent and the buyer would be like, all right, Donny, where's Cardinal? That's in Chantilly. Come on, Donny. We're not going to Chantilly to do closing the houses in Alexandria, right? But if we've got 33 locations and we can close in any of our offices, well, now it's much easier for you. Right? We'll close in Tysons. We'll close in McLean. We'll close in Gainesville. We'll close Fredericksburg. We'll close at the closest office that you have. We have over 20 of the offices that has full-time Cardinal staff in there every single day. They share the offices. You walk to get coffee, the processor and the closer are there, and they're part of your everyday life. It becomes a lot easier for that symbiotic relationship between Cardinal and Samson. So we want to make sure you can close at any of these locations wherever you are. It makes it a lot easier for us to both help each other. You work with the same processor all the time, and you close with whoever the local closer is at that office, so you get to know the people a lot better. Now, if you want to rent private offices in these places, we have those available. Now, drop-in desks, printers, color, conference rooms, that's all free wherever you want to go. Free. Now, you want to rent an office. Up here it says $250 to $500 a month. Now, that's a little bit of a sliding scale, all right? Now, you want to be out in my Charlestown, West Virginia office, I can get that in there maybe $100, $150, all right? Price is a little bit different. My DCs, a little $5, $6. It doesn't cost me the same amount of money as it does in DC and Charlestown, West Virginia, okay? But the idea is that we have private office available in almost every office that you can rent out if you want your own space. You're going to be the Donny that goes to work every day, and you need your own office to lock up. Any questions on locations or anything before I jump forward? Good deal. We have a page on our Cardinal Nest later. You can see you have 24/7 access, and you have all the information you need on all the different locations. All right, these next couple minutes, I'm going to try and be as humble as possible, but it is kind of a job interview. So I have to brag about us a little bit, all right? We're growing pretty strong. We have 5,500 agents and growing. We have about 100 agents joining us every month, and 70% of them are referred by our current Samson Properties realtors, which is something that makes me super happy because, one of my goals is to tell agents or create a company that agents love working for, that they bring their buddies in and say, look, you need to come hear about Samson. This place is great. You need to come to lunch learn. You need to watch a video on Join Samson. You need to talk to Donny. This is a great company. You need to come join it. That warms my heart. Now, all those agents have accomplished some really cool things. Not me. I haven't sold any of these homes. All right, so this is our agents doing great work. We've sold the most homes in all of Northern Virginia each of the last 2 years. Pretty cool, right? We're number one in Fairfax County, Prince William, Manassas. Our first Maryland County, we've been number one in Prince George's County the last 2 years and growing. Our market share has grown a little bit. So, Chris, you can hit that next slide there. And eventually she'll hit the next slide. We're going to show some of our growth there. There you go. All right, so go back one for me. Now, 2019, 8,700 transactions, $3.8 billion. That's great. 2020, huge jump. If you were around me when those numbers came out early 2021, I was like, look, can you believe that? Jumped to 5.6 and 12,000 transactions. In 2021, the avalanche came. That was amazing. We were so thankful. 20,000 transactions, $9.6 billion. Jumped up into the top 20 in the country and awesome stuff. Now, 2022, it went backwards a little bit. 17.1 and 8.7 billion. And, the whole market was off about 40% in transactions last year. I'm sure most of you felt that. We were only off about 10 or 12%. So that means we stunk less than everybody else, I guess. But we still did great. Off a little bit, but the whole market was off a little bit. So those numbers are great. And how does that look compared to everything? So we were number 20 in the country in RIS median volume. We were 23rd in transactions by Real Trends and 21st in volume. So these are the national publications that rank you. We're also the 7th largest independent brokerage in the whole country. So that's pretty cool stuff. And we were super proud of all that. Now this next thing shows Northern Virginia market share. So look, this has nothing to do with the other companies on this chart. It is not meant to indict that, but they're real companies with their production. So in 2015, we were on that 3% market share level with a bunch of other companies. There was one that was super big and some others that were in here. Well, you can see the upward trend in the last 8 years as we've grown. So we love this chart, and kind of you can see that we went from 3.5% of market share up to just over 11% market share currently. And you can see how we've kind of distanced ourselves from the field. The next best is around 6.5% market share. So that's awesome stuff. This is in total sales in all of Northern Virginia, all of our Northern Virginia counties. So this is what it looks like in actual sales. We had over 8,000 sales in just Northern Virginia counties in 2022. We've got a 5,700. Then most people are in the 2,000, 3,000 range after that. So great companies do a great job, but most of them we did 3-4 times as much over the last year. So I don't mean that to brag, but it just shows, look, we've become a pretty good piece of the market here, and we're super thankful for that. Next slide, because I don't like to rub that in too much. But yeah, it is kind of a job in there. You got to see that we're doing okay out there. We've got Prince George's County in Maryland. It looks very similar. We're number one there. And some of those other counties we're growing up in. We're not there quite yet, but we'll get there. Now, we've talked a lot about our brokerage, our stats, some of kind of that stuff. But I want to talk about these tools. What am I going to do for you all to help you sell more homes? The first thing is KV Core. About 3.5 years ago, I'd be standing up here, and we didn't really have a good tech stack or a tech offering that we're giving you. We got a deal here, but I knew we had to give you a good, complete solution. So I went out and I looked at all of them. I looked under the hood of everyone. Every point-and-click webinar I could do, I did. I came back with the idea that KV Core was the Mercedes, the BMW, the Lexus, the best in class. So I went to New York right before the pandemic hit, and I went to Inman and I negotiated with the top ones. And I didn't think I could afford KV Core, to be honest, because the average agent was spending $1,200, $1,300 a month for KV Core. I was like, I got 3,000 agents. That math is very high, okay? So I can't do that. Well, it turns out when you have 3,000 agents, they negotiate it down a lot for you. So every single thing I offer to you in KV Core, all free. You get to do all this for free. Now, if you hate tech and you don't like to touch the computer and the tech makes your head hurt, turn your brain off for 5 minutes. I'll tell you when to turn it back on, I promise. But know this before you turn it off. We have full-time trainers. We have other staff that can teach you up. We also have concierge people that can do some of this stuff for you for a small fee. So it's still a great product that we offer out. What does KV Core do? First of all, it has your own website. I don't want this to be offensive, but if you're in real estate right now, you should have your own website if you're serious about your career. If Justin thinks I'm the best realtor in the world and he tells Chris, hey, Chris, you need to call Donny. He's the man. I'm not, but let's assume that for the story, okay? What's Chris going to do before she calls me? She should, right? She's going to Google me, absolutely. And if she Googles Donny Samson and I don't have my own website, nothing comes up, I wouldn't hire me. You're going to pay me $25,000 to sell your home and I can't even market myself? Now, none of us are going to have websites as pretty as Realtor.com and Zillow and Red. Look, they spend millions and millions of dollars. But it's your digital business card nowadays. You have to have professional representation of yourself on the internet. Look, we look at Google and look at reviews if we're going to have somebody cut our lawn, much less spending somebody $30,000 to sell their house, right? So customizable website. You get your own website, log in, dress it up however you want, DonnySamson.com. Don't use that. That's my name. Use your own name. It'll work out better. But you get your own customizable website. It's got a smart CRM. Now, God bless you. CRMs, what's the best CRM? Well, the one you use, right? But the idea with this KV Core as a smart CRM is that if you click on an ad, I'm going to keep using Chris because I can pick on her because she has to sit back there. If Chris clicks on an ad, some CRMs will be like, oh, somebody clicked on your ad named Chris. Well, KV Core will tell you it was Chris McCullough, and here's her phone number, and here's her email, and here's her socials. Here's the name of her pets, and maybe not all that. But it's also going to take all that information in, your social handles, and then it's going to turn around and put her on a campaign and start nurturing Chris. Now, is Chris going to automatically turn into a client of mine? Maybe, maybe not, but a lot better chance than before when the CRM did nothing or I had no CRM, right? So it's got a smart CRM. It's going to help you nurture it. Listing activity reports, what's going on with your listing. It's got listing market snapshots. Now, if you hear nothing else from me today and you have no interest in ever watching or joining Samson, cool. I'm not sure why, but let's assume they're not. Learn this. Every single person in this room, you should all have everybody you know on a market snapshot. All right, when I got out of selling every day, I had 400 people getting a market snapshot every month. These are your past clients, your sphere of influence, the people in your church group, the parents of your kids' lacrosse and basketball teams and soccer teams. Why? We've all done the cheesecake of the month and the winterize your hose bibs emails. What's the reality, though? Nobody cares about any of that, right? What does every single person care about? The value of their home. They all do, right? Like I have 4 daughters, and my youngest is in 4th grade, and I hope to go nowhere for 8.5 years till at least she's moved out of high school, and all have the same great high school experience, then we jump around. So I don't plan on moving at all. Unless I get home tonight, and Meredith says we're moving, and then we're probably moving. Okay, that's just the way it works for us. But if I get home tonight, and I see a for sale sign on my circle, what am I doing the second I hit my driveway? I'm pulling that bad boy up, right? We all are, right? How does that house compare to mine? What's their price point? Is it nicer than mine? Not as nice? We all do that, right? Because we all care about the value of our house compared to the market. Well, if everybody cares about that, I want to be the person that provides that information to everybody I know. It's not offensive. It's a way to educate and remind people you're a realtor and be that source of information so they get used to knowing it. So they should all get a branded report with your face, your information every month saying what's going on in their neighborhood. It will give you a better chance. I had story after story of people that I got business off of my market snapshots. I won't say her name because this is going on video, but I've got an ex-client. We'll call her Sue Smith, right? I already used Sue Smith, right? Sue emailed me one day and said, Donny, it's time to sell my townhouse. Great. I've been getting your market snapshots. Time to go. Well, my first thought was, I haven't talked to Sue in 8 years, right? Sue has gotten 8 Christmas cards, but you know what Sue got? 96 market snapshots. She got one every month for the last 8 years. 8 times 12, 96. Got it. All right. Thought I messed it up for a second. All right. So Sue was like, hey, Donny, time to go. There is 0.0% chance Sue would have called me if I hadn't been sending her market snapshots. She would have forgot who I was, right? But instead, Sue was getting married. I got to sell Sue's house. I got to sell her fiance's house, and they went and bought a bigger one together. It was a big win for me, right? There's a lot of stories like that through my career that you could point to the market snapshots. National Association of Realtors does a study. 93% of us do a great job up front. And people say, I like to work on my realtor. I'll use that same realtor next time. Good on us. You know what percentage you use that same realtor next time? 13%. 13% use people next time. People early in their careers, I tell them to remind them of that stat, and I say the one thing I tell you in your career is if you just get closer to 93% of people using you again that liked you the first time, you're going to eat forever, right? But we spend so much time, effort, and energy looking for new leads and new clients that we forget about the people that already like us and know us, right? If we just stay connected to them, we're going to have more referrals than we can deal with and more business than we can deal with forever. So market snapshots are not going to solve that problem completely, but it's one piece of the puzzle, and a lot of the pieces I give you today are pieces to build up that referral base and make sure that they're continuing to use you. So market snapshots for free. It's got two different kind of apps that really help you out. The first one is your mobile coach app. So you open up your app today, and it'll tell you, Chris has looked at your market snapshot 5 times this weekend. Call Chris. Now, when you call Chris, please don't say, hey, Chris, I see you fit my market snapshot 5 times this weekend. She's going to think you're creepy. She's going to hang up the phone, okay? But it's going to tell you based on what's going on in your CRM and the activity, who to reach out to. It might tell you, hey, Zach's been looking for condos all over Fairfax on your website. Hey, Zach, what's going on, man? How's it going? Think of it as a duck, right? The duck floats across the water. Ducks look so pretty, right, and calm, right, floating across the water. What's going on underneath the water? Yeah, legs going a mile a minute, right? That's your CRM. That's all the activity. Who's touching here? Who's hitting here? Who's looking at this snapshot? I sent out 400 of them. Who's touching it? Who's engaging with it? Then it pops to the surface. The best 3, 4, 5 people are free to email, call, touch base with that day to help further along the conversation. So your mobile coach. The second one is your branded open house app. Maybe a lot of you are better realtors than me. Probably, but you're probably similar when it comes to open houses, right? I do an open house, and I got 20 people came through. This is great, 20 people. I got 20 people sign up on my sign-up sheet. Awesome. I don't love sign-up sheets as a side note, but that's a whole different story. But so you take those sign-up sheets home, and you're tired Sunday night, but Monday you're on it. I'm on it. I called all 20 people. I emailed all 20. Nobody picked up. Nobody called back because they weren't ready to go that day. They didn't want to buy that house. They didn't answer you, right? And then you were on it. Everybody says, hey, you gotta keep trying. You don't give up, right? So you called again Thursday. Similar response. And then you kind of got discouraged. You slid them down your desk. And at least with me, they ended up in my trash can in a couple weeks when I finally cleaned up my desk, right? They're probably never going to call me again. Unless they just happen to like me that day or they connected in some way. But my chances of getting these 20 people to call me ever again, probably low. Here's the reality, though, guys. 10 of those people are doing something in the next 6, 12, 18 months. The problem is we're not there to be their client because they didn't answer our call that first week. We're not there in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 16 months from now when they are ready to buy or sell. So instead, we put them in an open house app. They get a text right away. Thanks for coming to my open house. It was great meeting you. The next morning, they get set up on a buyer report or a seller report. There's a whole nurture campaign that's now following up with this person. Are you going to get all 10 to be your client? Probably not, right? But you got a good chance to get 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. A lot better chance than if they were in my trash can. All right, so I've had realtors during these, some of my realtors that raise their hand and say, Donny, I got a story for you. And I hear these stories all the time. And, one of them was one of our agents, Bethany. She said, Donny, I had 2 people that called me off an open house 6 months ago. I want you to emphasize when you tell this story how little effort I had done. I had not called, I had not emailed, I put them in the open house app. If they were standing next to her at Harris Teeter, she said, I would not have known who they were, all right? But they both reached out to me, said, I begin your emails. I'm ready to start looking for homes. And they went out there and bought homes with her. Now, not everyone is a winning story like that, but we got a lot better chance if they're in our web, if they're in our CRM. So put them in the open house app, and you can monitor the activity, and you can hopefully be that person to be their realtor in 6, 9, 12, 15 months when they get ready to buy or sell. Now, next couple of things it has is a lot of people offer KV Core. Not a lot of people, some companies. Most charge an $85 a month, $100 a month tech fee. It's very nice of them to charge that, to charge it back for you. We include all of it for free as part of your membership. But there were 2 add-ons I had to have as I investigated KV Core. One was KV Core Listing Machine. This helps you become a rock star listing agent. So you sell a house, you're going to list a home, 123 Center Street. It gives you a single property website for free, launched automatically, and spread out through all of your social media feeds after you click them up the first time. So you're advertising your listing all over the place right away. Now, this part you got to pay for. This is the Donny Samson unsolicited advice. Go into GoDaddy, pay $10.99, get a custom URL, 123center.com. all right? This single property website I give you has a really ugly URL and what they do, right? Now it says 123center.com. First of all, who's going to love that they get their own website with their own URL? Seller. They're like, hold on, I get my own website? 123center.com? That's so cool, Donny, right? And then I would go to the rider store. That's the official name for the rider store. And I would buy an $8 custom rider that says 123center.com, and I'd hang that on the sign. Who cares about that? Just every neighbor. Every single neighbor like Donny that drives down the street tonight on the way home and sees 123center.com hanging on the sign, what am I going to go to? I'm going to go to 123center.com when I get home because I want to see all the information about that property because I'm curious. So the 123center.com has been launched online, all social media feeds, everybody's seeing it on there. Your seller loves it, online loves it, and everybody in person that drives by loves it. Costs you $10 for the URL and $8 for the sign. I paid for the website and all the advertising for you. Great. Now what happens? Everybody clicks the website. Possible new leads into your database for you to follow up on. That's how you can get that next listing in the neighborhood, the next listing, and the next listing. So they're noticing this stuff that you do. So Core Listing Machine helps you be a rock star listing agent. The next thing is KV Core Social. A lot of us want to be better at social media, but we don't know what to say, right? So you can click on certain topics. You go in, you say, I want to post about Fairfax County, or I want to post about finance and gardening and mortgage. I don't know. Pick 4 topics, right? I want to post Tuesdays and Fridays. It's going to create fresh, dynamic content to your social media feeds about the areas and the topics that you want to post about. Now, are 100 people going to like your do-it-yourself first quarter projects article? Probably not, right? But you know what they're doing? Every time they're seeing you in a professional, smart manner posting stuff online, right? That is how you continue to build your brand, continue to build that recognition to them in your mind that you're the realtor they should call on. This is when I get to pick on my sister-in-law, Megan. So my sister-in-law, Megan's been an on-again, off-again realtor for 20 years. Mostly off again, if we're being honest. And Megan came to my house. It's mean. Megan will never watch. It's fine. Megan came to my house a couple years ago, and she was all fired up one day. Like, Donny, I'm so upset. That's my Megan impersonation. Why, Megan? On the way here, I saw somebody's sign, and I sold them that house 8 years ago. Now they're listing it with somebody else. Oh, dang, Megan. Well, when was the last time you talked to him? Well, 8 years ago when I saw... Megan, you're not that important. They don't remember you from 8 years ago, right? We have to do some things that help remind them of them. Now, I'm not saying putting KV Core social content out there is the end-all be-all, but you're putting smart, educated articles out there. You're posting your own listings with the custom URLs. You're adding some of your own. Now you have a social media feed that people actually care about on some level, right? And they're remembering who you are to be able to reach back out to you. The worst one is, it's off topic, but you've all been searching online and looking for a buyer or something. You see an address go up, and you're like, I feel like I recognize that address. And you're like, no, please don't be that I sold them this house, right? And then you that moment of truth, you go and you click on the tax record, and you're like, who's the owner? And it opens up. You're like, dang it. It was the owner, right? But who do we have to blame then if somebody's selling the house and we sold them that house 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago? Is it their fault? It's probably ours, right? We probably didn't do a good enough job of reminding them that we're that realtor that's going to provide value to their life and build a proposition. Now, not KV Core Social, not the end-all be-all with that, but it's part of the bigger plan. Help stay in front and in contact with those people. One other thing that we offer you as part of KV Core, if you turn your brain off tech-wise, turn it back on right now, okay? Everybody needs to hear this one. We offer you at Samson a free Facebook ad for every single listing you put in Bright and a free Facebook ad for every single open house you put in Bright. Automatically posted. First of all, who's going to love the free Facebook ads? Your sellers. Oh, you're going to put Facebook ads up? Great. But look, it doesn't matter if is it going to probably sell the house? Maybe, maybe not, but they're going to love it. Then who's going to click on these Facebook ads? Everybody that clicks on them. Do they go to Donny? Do I get the leads? Nope, right back into your databases for you to follow up with. I'm creating time. Every Facebook lead a winner? Absolutely not. We know how online leads can be, right? But there are times at bat. There's some nuggets in that gold, right? So you can, I think I messed that line up just in case anybody was wondering. But there's some good ones in there that hopefully will turn into your future clients, right? So we run Facebook ads for you automatically. Your seller loves it. You get some leads off of it. Every listing, every open house I pay for automatically posts out for you. Cool stuff. Now, this one we just added about a month or so ago. Real Scout. All right, I'm going to do a handheld thing right here, okay? if we were going home right now, if we met somebody today and they wanted to buy a house in Chantilly between $600,000 and $800,000, that was generally their criteria. When you got back to your house, how many of you would set them up in a search on Bright to start getting listings to themselves? Like if you got a new buyer, you're going to set up in Bright. I got a couple brave souls are going to hand up name. Most of us are using Bright, right? You might have something else, but 90% of people I talk to, they're going to go back and put them in Bright. What's the problem with Bright? If you're watching this and you work for Bright, I'm sorry. What's the problem with Bright? It's ugly. It stinks, right? It's a terrible user experience for your buyers or your clients. So what do most of the time they do? Oh, cool. Donny sent me this listing on Center Street. Awesome. Then they're going to go over to Zillow or Redfin or Realtor.com and actually look up the high site in a site they want to look on. What's the problem when you start looking on these other websites? There's other realtors over there. I don't want to lose those clients, right? How many of you get a screenshot or a text sent to you, or a link sent to you from your buyers like, hey, I saw this home on Zillow. Can we take a look? Oh, it's demoralizing, right? There's no line in any of my presentation that gets more reaction than the Zillow line because everybody's buyers has done that to them, right? I don't want them on Zillow and Realtor.com and Redfin. So how do I avoid that? You go back and you send them that search in Real Scout. Real Scout is pretty, it's sleek, it's sexy, it is a great interface. They don't want to leave. Now they've got great pictures, a great user experience. You can line up 3 houses next to each other. Think Best Buy, comparing laptops. Compare all the kitchens next to each other in the pictures, the backyards, the front yards. Compare all the features. You have a great interactive experience. They can click the plus or the minus sign if they don't like a feature or they do like a feature, so the computer starts to learn what they like and what they don't like. You are interacting with each other. They never want to leave Real Scout, and it has an app that they can search on. You want that to be their go-to platform. In a moment of soul searching, if you step back, let's say you put 25 people in Bright in a year. 25 people you met and you set them up in a search. And 5 of them bought homes this year. Great. In our head, we would like to say, well, the other 20 just didn't buy homes, right? They just, the interest rates or whatever. The cold hard truth is probably this. 10 of those people probably bought homes. Just not with you, unfortunately, right? Because at some point along the line, Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, they met a listing agent, they met somebody else, and unfortunately, through no fault of your own, they just slowly ghosted you and moved to somebody else. What I want to do with Real Scout is build that connection, build that nurture relationship, and I want more of those 10 people to not leave you and stay with you. It's a huge win if we can just keep more of those people that already met you to keep using you and keep looking at you. So Real Scout we pay for absolutely free. It's got other great features in there, like when you're working with your sellers, you can say, okay, they want to price their home at $725 and we think it should be $699, right? It happens every day. Well, you can look at $725 and say, this is how many people would see it online at $725. 22% more people would see it if you put it at $699. It has exact figures. Oh, well, now maybe they're enticed to go at $699. It will also tell you all of the realtors that would hit this search so you can reach out to those realtors if you want to. Now, whether that's powerful or not, the perception to your clients is huge that you have these tools at your disposal. So Real Scout's a great way to help build that connection with your buyers and sellers where you're interacting more with them and they're not out here looking at other websites. So we pay for Real Scout for you for free as another tool with us as well. Now we move to our print center. So we have an in-house print center right next door here. It's huge. It's about the size of this room here. We've got 3 mammoth machines in there, a 25-footer, a couple of 17-footers, and 3 full-time employees, and somebody that comes in and works nights and weekends. Why do we put everything out in our own print center? So we can do it cheaper, quicker, more efficient, and make it look better for you all. And we can give you free stuff because we're producing it. It's not free to us, but free to you all. All right, so first of all color printing that you do in any of our offices and here is free. When it talks about, you want to print a couple of flyers for your thing. You want to print out all the listings you're going to go show and color, go do it, okay? You do you. I don't need your 5 cents or your 10 cents. Print what you need to be a successful person in real estate. Now, does that mean 1,000 flyers for your church picnic? Not really sure that qualifies as real estate related, right? It's kind of an honor system. But print what you need to in color. Now, what do we do in our print center? The first thing we do is postcards, all right? The first thing we give you, we have standard and premium postcards. Standard are good quality, they're regular card stock. They have a small border on the edge. The color doesn't go all the way to the edge. Then we have premium postcards, much thicker and more impressive cardstock. There's no bleed. The color goes all the way to the edge of the paper. A little bit more impressive, but standard worked for me for 13 years. They're both great. When you first join us, you get 300 postcards for free that you can send to your sphere of influence, letting them know you've moved to Samson Properties. Now, I'm going to say something a little bit controversial, and it's on video, but oh well. If you've been in this business any amount of time, I think you'll agree with me. Most, if not all, of the people that you've worked with before, that you'll work with in the future, that will refer you clients, most, if not all of them, they don't know, and they frankly don't care what company you work for. They care about you. They care about the relationship with you and you and you and you. They're going to refer you if they had a good experience with you as the realtor. So why am I telling you to announce you've joined Samson? Guys, because it's a touch point. There's 300 people out there that should be a part of your database that maybe you haven't reached out to in a while. Reach out to them with a brochure or a postcard. I've joined Samson. I have more tools and great offices to help me. Say it however you want to spend it, but it's a great touch point. If Megan had sent this to her clients a month before they listed, there's a chance they would have called her. We get realtors every day that tell me, hey, I joined you and I sent out the 300 postcards. I got 2 listings right away from people that were out there that had forgotten who I was, right? So it's a great touch point to get connected to start with. Now, on an ongoing basis, we give you 200 just listed postcards for free every listing, 200 free postcards to every open house to renters around that open house. Why renters? The buyers of that house, the future buyers are going to put in your car, right? So 200 just listed, 200 open house for free every single time. You point, click, change the postcard, submit it. Pull down the addresses, submit that in. We do the rest. We print them, we label them, we put postage on them, we take them to the post office, the whole 9 yards. That might not seem like a lot, but guys, remember, I grew up a realtor's kid, all right? So in my teenage years, this is me and my brother every night watching the Orioles, putting on labels on postcards every night for $2 an hour. I'd be like, Dad, I don't want to do this anymore. He'd be like, you want to eat? Put some labels on some postcards. Well, I wanted to eat, so we kept putting labels on postcards. But we do it all. You got the mailer out in 10 minutes, you just sit back and wait for the phone to ring. Now, what I would suggest is you do 500. You know, I was doing 500 everything. You could do more. So if you want to do 500, the first 200 are free. Standard are 65 cents each. Premium are 75 cents each. That includes the paper, the labor, the postage, everything, all in. So you do 500 of them, great. First 200 are free. Next 300 are 65 cents. The blended rate's 35, 40 cents. That's a huge win, right? All of a sudden, you just sit back and wait for the phone to ring. Now, if you're somebody that does 20 listings a year, guys, that's 4,000 free postcards for just listed and 4,000 free open house postcards. You're going to get some business off that. I hope so, right? That's how I went from 1 listing in a neighborhood to getting 10 in the next 15. There are some people in our business, in our company, that have built huge successful businesses just by leveraging postcards in a successful way. Now, premium postcard is 75 cents. Then 75 cents each on top, yes, with mail and all. 200 free, but the additional 75 cents each. This is the next level up. 4-page, premium, good quality paper, 4-page newsletter, we call these. You can print these, right, and give them out, but printed, mailed, in the mail, postage included, $1.50 each. So 75 cents for a postcard, $1.50 for a 4-page newsletter. Now, if you're going to do this, have a purpose. Don't just use my template, put your face on it, and send it out, all right? You're wasting your time, effort, and money. I think there are 2 main purposes, and you could come up with more. But the 2 that I would focus on are this. The first one, I wish I could make every single realtor in our company do this, but I can't make people do things. Come up with 200 people in your sphere of influence. Past clients, people you know, church group, parents and friends, whatever, right? 200 people. If you know their name and their address, or their email address, well, the email is for Market Snapshot. You know their name, generally where they live, you can find their address if you don't have it, right? We have public records, we got fancy stuff, right? 200 people on this list. Now, if you're going to send it to 200 people that know you and like you in theory, make it about you on some level. Put what you think is going on in the real estate industry. Maybe some recent listings you've done or your local office has done. Local market reports to the market you're in. 3 pages professional. Remind them you're a pro. The 4th page, I'd make it personal. I'd have pictures of me and my girls at a lacrosse field, or us on our trip to spring break, we went to Phoenix, whatever it is, right? These are people that know you professionally, but also hopefully like you on some level, right? So you send this newsletter to your 200 people in your sphere of influence. $300 a month, $1.50 each. 12 times a year, that's $3,600. We just said the average commission was $10,000, right? So you need one new client or one new deal every 3 years to pay for it? Are you kidding me, guys? You're going to get 10 to 15 more referrals every year from this. Stats tell you that 13% of people are going to buy or sell every year. That's 26 of your 200 are going to do something themselves this year. Forgetting the hundreds of people that they know, but they're not going to call you if they don't remember who you are. You think if somebody got this newsletter from Megan every month after month after month, that they would have called her when it's time to list her home? If they didn't, they probably didn't like Megan that much to begin with, right? But if they did, they probably would have called her, right? Because they would have remembered that she was the professional realtor out there that they could call. So I'm a big proponent of the sphere of influence. The other big one is farming a neighborhood, farming an area. All right, I live in Willisford. If I'm going to get this 4-page newsletter to my house, and I'm going to market to 1,000 homes in Willisford, what should I make it about? Willisford, right? You'd be surprised how many things I get in my house that have nothing to do with my neighborhood. Why am I going to call you? I don't really care about you regurgitating what a great agent you are for 19 things. Give me something I want to read. So in this circumstance, I would do 3 pages about the neighborhood, 1 page about your business, right? In the front, upcoming events, pictures of the Easter egg hunt or the pool, what's going on in the neighborhood. Then I'd have recent sales, active, under contract, sold in the neighborhood. Remember, they all care about the neighborhood, what stuff's going for. Now they care. This tells them in a snapshot what's going on in the neighborhood. Look, go out there, write one article a month about somebody, interview a family, whatever. Make it interesting about the neighborhood for 3 pages. Then on the back, show them that you're a great realtor and these are all the things you offer. They start to recognize you as the neighborhood expert that has a 4-page newsletter they want to pick up and read every month. Not a lot of effort, but a lot of bang for your buck. 1,000 homes you can hit, $1,500 a run. I need a new listing every 6 months to pay for it. I like my odds. If I send it to 1,000 homes and I become that neighborhood expert. And each listing you get makes it a lot easier to get the next one. My Uncle Casey, who's successful, he does $150 million a year, his team, he sends $10,000 a month to Vienna. Why does he send $10,000 a month? Because every time he sends it, he gets 4 or 5 calls with $1 million listing appointments. Well, if you told me I was going to make 60 or 70 grand every time I spent 10, I would do it every day of the week and twice on Sunday. I don't know about you all, okay? So, not saying if you go to 10,000, that's crazy, right? It's not crazy. He's built up to that point, right? But by having this feature, it gives you the ability to market to your sphere or to a neighborhood cheaper. This probably costs $4 each. When I don't want to know, right? Because then I'll just get depressed. But the idea is because we do it in-house here with our printers and our labels and we're going to get it a lot cheaper and we can leverage it out to you. Because again, it's not about making the print center a profit center. It's about helping you sell more homes. It's never about how much can I make off you. It's always about how can I help you make more money. That's our whole mission here. So 4-page newsletters, not required, obviously, but a great way to continue to leverage your business. Next thing is brochures. Necessary evil when it comes to real estate, right? 4-page standard brochure, regular paper. These are free. Print these at whatever local office you want, here, wherever. You can print as many of these as you want. We say do 30 at a time. Don't kill all the trees, waste all my paper. But reality is we're not standing at the printer going, you did 32. Can you put 2 back? All right, so do whatever you need, right? Now, these are the ones that I would do. 4-page premium. It's got Samantha Samson on it. 4-page premium, a lot better quality. We first print these out. People said that's got to be like $2 each, right, Donny? No, 75 cents each. 75 cents each for a much better quality 4-page premium brochure. That's cool. This is mine. This is the one I would be all about. All right. 8 pages, premium goodness. 8 pages of really high quality brochure. Great paper, good quality, bleeds to the edge of the paper. $1 each. $1 each for an 8-page brochure, this quality. Now, between you and I and the fence posts, brochure ever sell a house? Probably not, right? But who loves then some brochures? Sellers love brochures, right? Half the time you put a beautiful brochure in front of them, they don't remember anything you're saying for the next 10 minutes, right? They're looking at how beautiful this brochure is going to be. Who else sees brochures and loves them? Neighbors. the neighbors that come by. So let's pause for a second real quick. There are some people that will come to me and brag, Donny, I sold this house before the sign even got up. Awesome. Good on you. We got two problems here. One, did we actually get the most for the house you could have? Let's put a pin in that one for a second. All right, that's a whole separate ball of wax. But the second one is this. You missed a chance to be great. So let's play it through the other way. The sign goes up Thursday. We start advertising, right? The seller comes into that open house on Sunday and they pick up this beautiful brochure. Or that's not the seller. The neighbor comes into the open house. They pick up this beautiful brochure. They have now seen 123center.com on your sign. They've gone to the website. They've seen the Facebook ad for the listing, the Facebook ad for the open house. They've seen the postcard you sent out just listed, the postcard of the open house. They've seen what a beautiful job you've done with the website. And then they come in and they see this beautiful 8-page premium brochure on the counter. You know what they walk away? They go, honey, I don't know when we're selling, but when we do, we better interview Donny. Because he kicked butt marketing this home all over the place, right? I paid for almost all of that for you. You paid a couple bucks for a rider and $30 for 30 of these bad boys. Everything else we paid for to make you look great. Who else then comes to you on Monday when you've got your 5 offers, knows with confidence that you did an amazing job marketing that home and you got the most they could afford? The seller. They're like, dang, they did the Facebook and the postcards and the website and he did everything he could. These are the best 5 offers out there. Your seller's going to refer you for life. The one that got the offer Thursday, they're not really sure. They're happy they didn't have to show their house, but you didn't get to show what a great marketer you were. And the neighbors that walked in the house all day, they know what a great agent you were, and you got a good chance of being called again. All right? Do all these things all the time. I built a successful career listing homes, and I'll say this, that I had a full-time assistant. I'll talk about that in a second, but there were twice that she went on maternity leave, which makes me feel old because her oldest just turned 16, which is mind-boggling to me. But I got through that time, 6 weeks when she was gone on maternity leave. But I'll never know how much business I lost. Why? Because I did the bare minimum. Like most of us probably do if we're being honest, right? Yeah, we got the listing online, but I didn't get the brochure out. I'll get to it next week if it doesn't sell the first weekend. I didn't really do any extra advertising. The market's hot. It'll get out there. But if you do all the things all the time, you never know how much business you missed that would have called up the postcards, or would have called up the Facebook ads, or would have been impressed with how well you marketed the home and called you to list their home. You can't put a number on how much missed opportunities you had by not doing all the right things. But I'll tell you that if you do them all, you can build a successful career. We're providing you with the opportunity to do almost all of them super cheap. The last things we have are, you don't have these in your book. You have to join us to get these bad boys. We call these booklets. All right? So this is a let's find a house, your buyer guide. Congratulations, you got a contract. Now what? This is a seller guide. We also have a listing presentation, a buyer presentation. All these are online on the Cardinal Nest, fully customizable. You don't like my words? It's fine. Take my words out. Don't tell me about it. It'll hurt my feelings. I'm sensitive. Just kidding. I don't care. All right. Take my picture out, put your picture in, put my words out. But this is a beautiful representation of what you should give to a future prospective client, right? Two reasons I'd be all about this. One is managing expectations. Guys, buying and selling homes is hard. Thank goodness it is, right? If it was too easy, we'd be out of jobs, right? We want it to be a little bit hard, right? But the other reason is, what a first impression. So if I'm at my kid's game tonight, somebody walks up and says, hey, Donny, I'm interested in buying a house. Great. Hey, here's my card. I'll call you tomorrow. We'll catch up. We don't want games going on, right? What if I say, hey, here's my card. Let me give you something before I get out of here today. And I give you a beautiful buyer guide. I drop this on you before you go home. You got a whole different impression of me. Dang, Donny's a pro. This changes the whole dynamic to how they looked at you. I just thought he was Sophie and Ava's dad that yelled at the refs all night. I mean, that's kind of true too. But I'm trying to get better, right? Every day is a new opportunity. But now they look at me as, he's a pro realtor. He's giving me the whole game plan before the game's even started. I feel really good about calling Donny tomorrow, not just because we had a friendly relationship, but he's a professional realtor. You drop these buyer and seller guides on people, they make an impact. How much to get them? You can email them for free, put them on your website, put them in your email signature. All those are free. Look like a pro. You want to give it to somebody? 15 cents a page. 20-page book, $3. I have 20 of these in my back seat, in my trunk all the time, ready to give out. If I meet people out on the streets, I meet them at open houses, whatever the case may be. Drop a buyer guide or seller guide on them. Great first impression. So those are all the great things we do at our print center to help you promote yourself, create more business. Again, it's not just how much money I can save you, how much money can I help you make through all of our different tools, right? Now, this next thing is hopefully a lot of you get done watching this video or here in person. You're like, you know what? I like what Donny, I'm going to join Samson. Then you get to that 1 yard line. And you're like, but change is hard, right? It's easier to not do stuff than it is to do stuff, right? I'm just going to stay where I'm at. It's because you think about all the steps. So what we have is we created a position 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago now, called the Agent Service Specialist. Their job is to, when you're on that 1 yard line, come grab your hand, give you assurance that we're going to make this process as smooth as possible. We're going to get you into all the systems, get you going, sit with you, do a whole orientation, get you rock and rolling with Samson, as little downtime as possible. And then, next week, you're going to forget half of what they told you, right? And then they become your phone a friend, your lifeline. They're that person that you're like, lifeline. Everybody remembers Regis, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right? You got stuck on a question, you always had that phone a friend you could call. That's your phone a friend. There's this whole sea of great Samson staff. You're like, I don't know where to go. You call your agent service specialist. They're your lifeline. They're your friend. They're going to help you either solve the problem or help connect you to that right person. When we interview for agent service specialists, we interview for one trait. I didn't care what they knew about real estate, what they knew about Samson, right? I cared about one thing, personality. We wanted them to be people that you wanted to talk to. We all have people in our lives that when they walk in the door, you're like, oh, Bethany's here. The room just got a little bit nicer. The air just got a little bit lighter, right? That's Bethany. Or on the flip side, we've all got people, and you're all going to think about it right now, that they walk in and you're like, oh, geez, Gary's here. Let me see if I can get out this side door over here before I have to talk to Gary, right? We've all got those people. They either suck the air out. You don't care how smart they are. They suck the air out of the room. You don't want to call them, right? As opposed to the person with a nice personality that you want to reach out to, you want to get that help from, right? So they are your connection piece to make sure that you are onboarded, rocking and rolling, and your lifeline whenever you need that help. Our agent service specialists are as a staff of 10, and they're spread all over to help you wherever you are. Bethany just so happens to manage that group. I know sometimes people have to drug test me to make sure I didn't make poor decisions. But she manages that group to make sure that customer service is our number one priority, to make sure our agents have a great experience here at Samson Properties. So that's our first line of defense to help you make that transition. The next thing we do is we've got a great staff of teachers, a great staff of leadership here that's going to help you get better at real estate. There are some real estate companies that they will hang their hat on leads, right? There's this buzzword of leads, whatever that means anymore, right? Think of leads as fish. People will give you fish, and they're going to promise you fish, and then you join them, and all of a sudden, a couple months later, where all the fish go, right? Sometimes I get those complaints, right? I'd rather teach you how to fish, right? If I help teach you how to fish, you can eat as much as you want for the rest of your life and be happy, right? Now, let's not get me wrong. We've given you a heck of a lot of fish. I've said the word free 19,000 times already today, right? These cards and this ads and this. But we also want to teach you how to fish. Don't work for a company where you rely on waiting for my scraps and give me back 50, 50, 60, 40 on it like some of these companies. Come somewhere where they're going to give you 100% and teach you how to fish for as much business as you want for the rest of your life. You want to sell 100 homes a year? Great, we'll help get you there, all right? Whatever that your goals are, you can dive in and do those things. So we have people that would teach you social media, SkySlope, Bright, KV Core, all of our print marketing campaigns, our templates, video training. We give headshots for free. Our staff moves around and teaches you all these things to help build up your business and how to better market yourself using our tools and outside tools. We also have a great education team that's going to teach you real life stuff. So we're talking about, look, I made a CE joke earlier about meets and bounds, and it wasn't a great joke, but it was my joke, right? But I don't really care a ton about that stuff. If I'm being honest, I got to get my CE done by the end of the month, right? But that's just checking a box, right? What we want to teach you is how to really prospect and sell and be a better realtor. I want to teach you a series about how to do better open houses, better working with buyers and sellers, and how to prospect better. We have a Jumpstart series that's fantastic. It's a 4-class series that builds on itself, whether you're brand new or you just need a jump start to your business because it's not going as well as you. Jump in, take that 4-class series. You're all going to see results from it. We want to teach you how to really build your business, and we've got whole classes on how to build your business. Stop thinking about your career as I sell homes. No, I have a real estate business that I'm running here. Your whole paradigm changes. So we want to teach you all these things. We teach you in person, all over our footprint. We live stream a lot of them. And if you miss the class, we video it, we bundle it up, and we put it on Samson University later for you to come back later and watch. It's your Netflix of Samson Properties, right? You can come back there and watch it whenever you want to watch it. So it's a great organized platform there. We can log on, watch all the videos you want to. A couple other things with our education program that we're focused on. Coaching. We have a free coaching program. You can log in. We got dozens of coaches that will help you build your career. This is that agent that you sell 5, 6, 8 homes and you want to get to 10, 15. You sell 10 or 15, you want to get to 20 or 25. I love coaching. I make a bunch of coaching analogies. I'm coaching some fourth grade lacrosse and fourth grade basketball right now on the weekends. That's my whole thing, right? My 10-year-old's my fourth, so she gets all my attention now and all of my coaching. It's my last one. But I've coached a bunch. But coaching in sports is similar, but coaching in real estate, I think, is about 2 things. Game planning and accountability. Most real estate agents' career, okay, maybe not you, but most realtors' careers go like this, right? 1 minute, they're taking pictures at Atlantis in the Bahamas, and they sold 3 homes last month, and they're crushing it on Facebook, and they're on top of the world. And then 2 months later, they're like, oh, geez, I got no clients. I got a mortgage payment due, right? That's unfortunately the way that we are as realtors. The number one trait for successful realtors, in my opinion, consistency. Consistency all the time. Doing the right things all the time that continue to build your business. Instead of just working about the 2 or 3 contracts that are in flight right now, we forget about prospecting. We forget about building our business. So when you get with a coach, the first thing is set a game plan. What are your 3 or 4 paths that you're good at and you want to get on those, right? And then the accountability. These are the 4 things we need to do this week. Well, if I set those on Monday and I don't have anybody to meet next Monday, what are the chances I get those 4 done? Slim to none, and Slim just walked out the door probably, right? We're not going to get them all done. But if I'm going to meet with my coach Justin next Monday, and he's going to check if I get all these 4 things done, I'm going to get them done. I don't want to come to class without my homework done. Teacher's going to get mad at me, and I don't want him to get mad at me, right? You get these 4 things done week after week after week after week. You're going to wake up 6 months from now. You're not going to recognize the realtor you used to be. You're going to be so successful and so consistent, you're going to build a business. But we need that game plan and accountability. I don't care what I spend in the coaching program, right? I'll spend thousands a month and pour into it because I'm building hundreds of successful realtors along the way. And we're going to see the fruit down the line. Both of us will. So free coaching program, you just got to show up and be a part of it. We'll help you get there. Now, the next thing that has to do with our education department is our mentor program. We require all brand new realtors to the industry to use a mentor for their first 2 buys and their first listing. All right, it says in the last 3 years. Sometimes it is 4 or 5. We'll talk to you. But the reality is this. It's not to us. If you sold these somewhere else, you're good. But there's a couple reasons I don't bend off the mentor program. So you can ask me, but pretty sure I know the answer is no. And it's not because I'm a mean guy. It's for these reasons. I'm protecting you from yourself. You might be a lawyer or a doctor or the smartest person in this room, but you haven't sold real estate before. You could mess up your career before it even starts because you've got somebody else's $500,000 transaction in your hand. You mess it up, it goes sideways, and your whole career is spent before you know it. So I'm protecting you from yourself. The second thing I'm doing is I'm protecting that client. Does it say Justin Donnelly's name on the contract, or does it say Samson Properties? It says Samson Properties. It's irresponsible of me to let 500 clients walk around with realtors that don't know what they're doing, right? I've got to make sure that those realtors have somebody holding their hand, making sure that they're getting that client the best service they can. And the third, most important reason, if I'm being honest, is this. A lot of people say they have pride in where they work or company they're running. Guys, it's my last name. I find it one of the most important things I can do is protect the reputation for the 5,500 people walking around with Samson Properties on their business card. And if I let 500 realtors walk around that don't know what they're doing, work without a mentor, is that going to help our reputation or hurt it every day? It's going to hurt it, right? We got to make sure that they're using mentors and getting help. It's my last name. Guys, I'm 42 years old and I plan on being here for a long time, hopefully running this company, Lord willing. And I want to be more proud every week, every month, and every year of the company we're growing. And I am, but it's because we're continuing to focus on our reputation and educating our agents up to become better in this marketplace every day. So that's why we want to make sure we have mentors. Now, I think it's a great idea. We've got 100 mentors you can choose from. You pick the one in the area that works. You interview a couple, whatever it was. It's always funny because I can always tell right away, I can tell the agents that actually just want to sell a couple homes and cash a couple checks, or the ones that actually want to build a successful career. The ones that really want to be good at this, they're excited about them. They're like, great, somebody's going to just sit and help me. This is great. I get a successful realtor that's been doing this for years to sit with me and hold my hand. That's fantastic. 60-40, 60-40, 70-30 on 3 deals, no big deal. I want to get my career going. Then the ones that want to bellyache and say, that's ridiculous, I don't need a mentor, you're probably not really focused about your career because you would want the great teaching that comes from being with a mentor for your first 3 deals. So I love our mentor department. I love that we have dozens and dozens of realtors willing to raise their hands and be that mentor to help you get going in the career. So mentor program is the last part of our education. Getting near the end, I promise. The next thing we have is our Cardinal Concierge services. So I've mentioned this a couple times. When I was selling, I had a full-time assistant. Donny's bragging again. Why did I have a full-time assistant? Because I knew the best use of my time was not bright listings and brochures and postcards, right? The best use of my time was leveraging my networking or being out there showing houses or doing listing and presentations, or worst case, sitting back and resting my mind so I could think about the next idea, right? Not, people get home from work, they're like, how was your work day? Great, I did the brochure on my new listing. Awesome. You could have paid somebody a few bucks to do that with your 5 hours of your day, and you could have reached out to 10 past clients. You could have had coffee or lunch with past clients. You could have built relationships. That's a much more meaningful way for you to spend your time than sitting behind a desk doing a brochure. Now, why does everybody not have an assistant? Because they can't spend $50,000 a year on one, right? But what if I offered you the ability to have an assistant on a transaction-by-transaction basis, and you could pay for it out of your closing check? Well, now that's interesting, right? So we have a couple avenues for this. Your first main lane is marketing packages. They'll do your bright listing, your brochures, your Facebooks, your postcards, all that stuff, $150 or $250, and you can pay for it at closing. Great. Launch that listing. Make sure it looks good. And it's not just the time you save. Earlier I hinted on, my system was out there a couple times and how much business I missed. I would look at this as how much business I'm missing if I don't do all these things. So if you're going to do them all yourself, great. If you're not, pay the $150 or $250. Make sure it's done great. And you're going to see you need what? One new deal, 10,000, that's every 40 deals. You get one deal for every 40 times you pay for a concierge. I think it's worth it, right? Now, the next one is transaction coordinator. They will be your assistant from contract to closing, whether you're a buy side or a list side. Now, if you've done TCs out in the marketplace, a lot of times you got to pay $350, $400 for this right now. We only charge $150. Why? Guys, I'm not trying to make money off you. It's not about how much money I can make off you. It's how I can help you make more money. I think you should use a transaction coordinator because it's going to leverage your time and efforts better and help. I get people all the time, they're like, well, I do most of my TC or my busy work once my kids go to bed at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, right? Great. But you know what? You're going to wear yourself out. That's not a big way to build your business, right? Hire somebody else to make sure. You can do 99 things right in a transaction. What does your client remember sometimes? That one, right? Unfortunately, that one. So not only are you going to leverage your time, be happier and healthier, you're going to have a better relationship with that client long term if you have somebody that's got your back, making sure you're dotting every I, crossing every T. Now, if you want everything on both pages in your brochure, the whole package, concierge complete, easier for me to say, $400. Once in a while, I have somebody say, well, my company does that for me. They might. You know what they also do? Take 20 or 30% of your commission to pay for those people, right? What I would prefer for you to do is have the option to pay for this when you want. $400 is 4% of a $10,000 commission. I would like the ability to pick and choose when I want to spend 1, 2, 3, 4% of my commission on a assistant, as opposed to somebody saying I have to use it and take all my money. So you get to leverage and pick. We have these people available. So if you want help 4, 5, 6 times a year, great. You want help 25 times, great. Once or twice because you're going out of town, great. Okay, your choice. You can enlist the concierge department whenever you want. They also have a la carte items. So I affectionately call this the Danny Samson plan. That's my dad, all right? My dad wanted to do all of the things, but he didn't want to do any of the things, okay? So he's like, I got a just listed postcard I want to do. I don't know how to do that. I don't want to learn to do it. I got $50. Can somebody do this for me? You know? And maybe that's you, and that's a great way. It's a great way to leverage your business, right? So everything is $25 to $100 in the a la carte. You want just one print thing done, one social thing done, Sky Slope, KV Core, great. It's not about us making money or 25 or $50 a pop. You know, it's about us having the ability to leverage your business, have staff that will do these things for you at a super cheap cost, so you can go out, spend your money, time, and effort selling homes or getting more clients like you want to. All right. We also have a graphic designer on staff, $30 an hour, do custom graphic design stuff if you'd like. From there, got a big one here. All right. So, there are some people out there, I'm going to get a little aggressive here. There are some companies out there that what they do is almost criminal. Oh, Donny, that's a little aggressive. What does that mean? They've got, you might work for one, so I'll be nice. They've got the company name all over it, and they got their company phone number, their office phone number, in 292 font across the middle. And then you look at me and go, no, Donny, it's cool. I got a rider on the bottom. It says my cell phone number. Awesome. Oh, how often do they call the number in the middle with the 292 font? Well, no. The front desk always gives me all my calls. Come on now. You don't really believe that, right? There's some company's whole plan, right? I'm not telling you who. Some company's whole plan is to make the office phone ring as many times as possible and then take those leads and give them out to people at 50-50 splits and make all the money off your listings. They're your listings, your leads. There is nothing that we have been more passionate about since the beginning of time at Samson than that fact. Your listings, your leads. I don't want the calls. We didn't have our company phone number on there for years. DPOR made us, right? About 7-8 years ago now. DLR in Maryland, D.C., they make us in West Virginia, right? But if we're up to us, it wouldn't be on there at all. It'd just be your cell phone number. Now, we have 15 different templates. Use our brand. That's Sarah's cell phone number. Write that down so you can bother Sarah all the time. You got her website, her email address. This is all Sarah's information. It's got the company phone number down there at the bottom, but they're much less likely to call the office, right? They're going to call Sarah, hopefully. So you can do that, or keep your own brand. You want to create your own brand or keep your own brand, right? Chesterfield Homes. If they come to this sign, who are they calling? Samson Properties or Chesterfield Homes? Right, they're calling this phone number. It's on there, right? And even if they don't get an answer here, what are they going to remember in their head? Samson or Chesterfield? Probably Chesterfield. That's okay. It's not about me, all right? We got a great brand. We sold $8.5 billion in homes, and put Samson on there. Put your cell phone number. But if you want to build your own brand, you can do this as well. Probably about 5% of people have their own custom design brands and all that. Most people have Samson, but it's up to you how you want to make it happen. We're very flexible in our logo and in our signage. But keep your sign leads. Stop giving your leads to the front desk and somebody else at your company. You know, I hate to put it in these terms, but how many times has it happened to you, though, when you're going to put your under contract sign up or an open house rider up at your new listing, and you peek around the corner on the way in and you see another for sale sign with your company's name and logo on it? Look, maybe it's coincidental. Or maybe they called off your sign, wanting somebody in the neighborhood to call theirs, and they gave another agent your desk. Just something to think about, right? We don't want that to happen to you. If they call somebody else, they could, because we have a lot of agents. But now, this is the free fish page, or the free marketing, right, to my analogy earlier, right? Just make sure everybody understands. We give you lots of stuff, but it's a quick summary. Free coaching, training, CE, mentorship, one-on-one social media and technology training, free headshots, personal video training, 300 postcards when you join Samson Properties to your sphere of influence, 200 postcards for every just listed, 200 postcards for every open house, free E&O insurance, all included in your monthly fee, free Sky Slope. Now, Sky Slope is a national platform. It's got all your forms in there. It's got e-signature in there for free. We pay for Sky Slope for you. If you love zip forms or dot loop or pen and paper, you do you. I think you should learn the computer. Pen and paper, a little bit out. But all we need you to do with Sky Slope is this. You got a Virginia buyer, you come in, there's 6 drop boxes or 6 little boxes, put in your ratified contract, your disclosure, your buyer agency agreement, bam. All right? Now, it's got everything from A to Z, but I really just need you to turn it in, do step Z, and turn it into us there with Sky Slope. But we pay for all that for you. On the right is all the tech stack, the tech stuff. Real Scout, Facebook ads, KV Core, websites, listing machine, all that great stuff we give you, all the apps, all the stuff to help your business grow on the right side. So tons of free stuff we give you. A couple more things here and I'll wrap up. Free testimonial tree. Most of you are probably like me. You never ask your clients for testimonials or customer reviews. I sold hundreds and hundreds of homes and I got a dozen reviews. Maybe I just wasn't that good of a realtor, or I just never asked, right? We ask for you now. Every time you close a transaction, we email your clients and say, hey, how did it go? We get tons and tons of great reviews back for you. If you got a bad one, nobody got to know about it, okay? But if you get good ones, you post them on your Google page, post them on your websites, all that. I'm joking. Hopefully they're all good. But we have put thousands and thousands of positive reviews onto the internet because of we're now using Testimonial Tree to reach out to all of your clients and ask for those reviews back for you. Showing Team app. You've probably never heard of this unless you already work at Samson Properties. This gives you the idea or the ability to have 5,000 people working on your team as one. Maybe you have buddies, maybe you have a team, maybe you have a group of 10 or 15 people that work for your company that you can reach out to. You got 2 people that need to show houses tonight. They both got to see houses at 6 o'clock. What do? Pick your favorite? Well, that doesn't help. The other one doesn't get shown, right? Unless you got a buddy to call. Now, you can put in Showing Team app. Say, I need somebody to show a house in Gainesville tonight. I'll pay them $25. It's going to get snapped up in 3 to 4 minutes tops because everybody just got a push notification that's willing to show houses in that area, and they could say, oh, I'll grab that, bang. The new person makes $25, you get to go. Now, obviously, connect with the agent, talk to him, make sure you keep the client, all that kind of stuff. But it's just within our office, and we've got so many people all over the place that it's easy to help out. Look, how many times you woke up on Sunday morning and you're just dog sick and can't do your open house? Hopefully not much, but you could put that in at 10:30. You got somebody to cover that open house by 10:35 to help you out. Or worst case scenario, this happened to me a bunch of times when I was a listing agent. I got 5 open houses out there and somebody canceled on me at 11 o'clock. First of all, I want to beat them up. But second of all, I could turn to put that out. I'd have somebody cover that open house by 11:03 probably, right? So it's a great ability to be able to leverage your time, efforts, and energy and have a life back and have somebody that can be that backup if you need it through showing time, whether that's free or a couple bucks, whatever you want to do to put out there to make sure your job gets filled. If you're a newer agent, you can get some times at bat, make a few bucks. You need somebody to cover a home inspection, $100. You might be like, I'll go sit in a home inspection for $100, whatever the case may be. So it helps us to all help each other be successful in this business. The next 2 things are really think about their tools in your tool belt to be a better listing agent, to get more. Remember I talked about getting to the kitchen table. These 2 things help you get to more kitchen tables. So Samson Solutions is a partnership with Curbio. They will come in, fix up the property, and push the check to the closing table. Great. Most sellers will concede that they should do 10 or 15 or 20 grand on their house. It'll help them get 20 grand more for it. Why do they do it? They don't want to pay for it now. Take it out of my closing check or take it out of my proceeds at closing. It's a win-win for everybody, right? You're going to get a quicker sale, a better sale. They're going to be happier. You can push that money to closing. So you have Samson Solutions. It's a partnership with Curbio that does that. The next one is Samson Instant Offers. This is like our own iBuyer platform. You put in a house, they'll give you a cash offer bid for the next 24 hours. Most people don't want the cash offer because they'd rather put it on the market nowadays, right? The other one it has is Easy Knock, which is like a bridge solution. So I got my house, it's 500 grand. I want to go buy an $800,000 house. Problem is, I can't own the 500 and the 800 at the same time, right? So Easy Knock will come in, they'll purchase that $500,000 house from you so you can go get the mortgage on the new one right now. Rent back your current house, right? Once you move, come back, sell this, you get full market value, you get 520, 530, great. They basically charge a 1% fee in the middle for being the middleman and holding it. It might not be a great solution for you or your sellers, but now on all your advertisements, you can say, I've got a program that you can fix up your house and pay for it at closing. I've got a guarantee buy program, guarantee sell program. I've got a buy before you sell program. You do, right? It's going to get you to more kitchen tables. They may never choose those solutions, but they're tools in your tool belt that help you get to more conversations. From there, most people are going to choose the conventional sale route. Makes more sense for them, right? But you've got these options that can fill that plug, fill that hole. Zachem, this is your remote EMD app, all right? You got a picture. Longer the days, we get a $10,000 EMD check, and we've all been there if you've been in this long enough. Samson Properties, $10,000. If you're like me, you're like freaking out. You're like, all right, where's the check? Where's the check? I put it in my wallet, I put it in my pocket, I put it in my cup holder. Where's the check, right? Until that check got to the person at accounting that needed to, I was stressed out about that check. Now, you can put it in the mail, then you got to call accounting every 2 days. Did you get the check? Did you get the check? Well, now with Zachem, you or your clients take a picture of the front, take a picture of the back, click the Samson logo, it's in escrow, right? So I pay for that for everybody. You can do it to Samson or to Cardinal Title Group. Easy peasy. Even those millennial buyers out there that don't have checkbooks, you can actually log in and connect it right to your bank account and push the money over that way to get it into deposit. So I pay for that for everybody. We're going to do a quick 2-minute tour here. I looked at my watch, like I got a watch on. I took it off. I'm used to looking now. The Cardinal Nest is the hub of our wheel. So this is the internet that ties everything together for us. I'm just going to give you a quick look at the website. It just shows you kind of what it looks like. So we've got our live stream classes in the middle. We've got all the announcements in the middle. All those names in the middle. We're thanking every single person that used Cardinal Title Group. We thank you in writing on the website, and we thank you in person at every sales meeting. We've got message boards at the bottom. We have a Facebook group. We've got message board system, and we've got showing team to help connect all of us into one big happy family. On the right, you're going to see ads for warranty companies or company policies or direct links to SkySlope and Samson University. You've got First Heritage Mortgage, our mortgage partner, and Cardinal Title Group. You've got our calendar up there. And any given day, we got 3, 4, 5 classes going on all over our footprint. You can go to a class in Tysons or Gainesville or Lake Ridge or wherever you want to go. We've got our resource section. This is like our library. This is every single document, every single form, every single graphic in our whole company. One easy to find place where you can download and modify and make them your own all in one system. The next thing it's going to hit in a second here is your top agent resources. This is like Donny's top 20. This has got your buyer guide, your seller guide, your listing presentation, buyer presentation, market reports, cheat sheets, everything you need to easily find in one spot here on the top resources page. Next thing it's going to click, I believe, is Team Hub. So it's our Team Hub, then directory. Team Hub, this is like if you're advertising a team, you want people to join your team, you can go to Team Hub. You can see all the different teams that are available. If you want people to join your team, you advertise there. If you're a team member, want to find one, you can go to Team Hub. This is our directory. This has every realtor, every staff, every broker, everybody has their own page. You could need to find an agent that works in Richmond, speaks Spanish, been in the business 5 years. Great. Click 3 buttons. You got 10 options you can reach out to. It's a great place to refer people to and connect with other realtors all over. This is our office locations page. It has a map of our locations at the top, and then it has a page for every office. So you can see here, you go to the Alexandria office. Great. You can find out in here the Wi-Fi passwords, the printer codes, access information. 24/7, you can find out where the lockbox, where the combo box is. You can access that office whenever you want if you need to get in there. Manager's information, admin information. You could go in at 2 in the morning and use that office without any help based on the page and the instructions on there. The last thing is just the message boards. We've got a page for everything. You want to talk about open houses? Go to the open house board. You want to talk about contracts? You want to talk about interesting articles you found? Post it in there. It's easy to interact with each other and have an organized way to kind of all interact. So this is a brief snippet of our Cardinal Nest. But you can see it's a fully interactive web page. You can find anything you want. When you first sit down, your agent service specialist will show you all through the nest and where you can find everything Samson related in one spot. I close up the presentation with this thought. I have talked to you for a long time. Probably I don't have my watch on anymore, so probably an hour and a half or more, I bet. So I apologize and thank you for your time. But hopefully you've gotten from me this. It's never about how much I could charge you or make off you. It's always about how can I help you make more money? How can I help you make more connections in tech or print or have an easier life with Concierge or whatever the project we're looking at? I want to help you be more successful. I ask one thing in return. I'm not taking any of your money. An admin fee of $50 a month. Try and help us out at Cardinal Title Group. If you can bring a couple deals there, great. They do a good job, keep bringing them there. If they don't, please let me know. We will fix it. But we have an A-plus title company. They do fantastic work. They do a great job, and let them earn your business. If you have an existing relationship now you love, great, I get it. I ask two things. One, is there somebody at that company you love? Because I'll talk to them, because I'd love to hire them, because that'll make Cardinal better, right? It's how we got to be so good, frankly, is we got a lot of those relationships, we hired them over, right? The second thing I would tell you is this. Give us a try. Give us every third deal. Give us every fourth deal. Give us every other deal. Give us a chance to earn your business. I think we'll earn it, and then we'll keep bringing them in. I can't pay, or incentivize you to use Cardinal Title Group, but I can sure kill you with kindness and kill you with great tools to help you get there. We have agents that went 3 for 30 last year. And I have one beautiful soul that went 96 for 96 at Cardinal Title Group. I can't treat you any differently. I will be honest. I like the person that went 96 for 96 a little bit more than the person that went 3 for 30, all right? But what we want to do is we want to give you an A-plus title company and an A-plus real estate company. And if you use our title company, we're going to continue to take all those profits and pour them back into making them both the best companies they can be. Those are all the millions and millions of words that I chose to say to you today. From here, I would say I'm going to do any group questions you have. And then if you want, Mark's in the back. He's got some pieces of paper. If you want more information, you want to sign up here in person, or you want us to electronically send you some stuff, we can do that. You can sign up from the comfort of your own home. So group questions. Mark can say you can sign up for some stuff when I'm done. If you have individual questions, I'm sticking around. I work here all day, so you can come here and talk to me. I'm here to answer any questions you have in person, on phone, Zoom, if you want to meet later. So group questions before I close up to the meeting. Anything I missed? I know I talked a lot, but I'm sure I missed something. Anything you want elaborated on a little bit more, or something I missed out there? Big group like this and no questions. That means I was either really good or really long and they're done with me today. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Oh, look at that. So she said you can actually go in and you can pull all the addresses in Bright. You're right. So like when I talked about earlier about sending them to rentals, you go into a property, go all the absentee owners, and you can pull all the addresses out. You're even talking about finding people's addresses just that too. So all those things. Bright's powerful. We have Bright classes too that we promote as well. So good stuff. Thank you. Any other questions or thoughts on me before we close up? All right. So I want to close with this thought. 2 things. 1, thank you so much for your time. Your time is the most valuable asset. The fact you're willing to come spend a couple hours hearing about our company means the world to me. So thank you so much for that investment. If you're watching online, thank you for all your investment in watching the video to this point. I close with a promise always. I promise you this. If you join our brokerage, nobody will work harder every day, every week, and every month to create a better company for realtors every single day. Not what's going to help me make more money, what's going to help our realtors become more successful, make more money, be more successful. If you all succeed, we all succeed together. So that's my goal every day, is to create a better company for realtors. So thank you so much for your time today. Hopefully I'll see you sometime around soon.